Hello friends, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to take a look at the Georgic here. She is essentially a larger version of the Civic over there. We saw her last time. Yeah, she was a livestock carrier built for the White Star Line in 1895. She was launched then. And yeah, she transported livestock and other cargo before and up to and during World War One. Until, unfortunately, the German merchant raider SMS Möwe, I think that's how you pronounce it, intercepted her. They ordered all the crew off and then scuttled Georgic, leaving the 1,200 horses aboard to drown, which is incredibly sad. And that is the end of Georgic. She served for quite a long career, like 20 years, so that's at least good. She has this very unique like look to her. Delphic, which comes later, would be fairly similar in this, with this black hull, but they eventually would repaint this like less than a year after introduction. First they painted it orange, this kind of dark mast color as it's called, but then they painted it the lower section orange and then the top white, just like here. So yeah, this was built using a deck plan created by the lovely Sven, along with many of his photographs and historical information, and as well as Alex's photos and historical information. And yeah, I couldn't be happier, couldn't be more grateful. You guys are awesome. So, yes, Georgic, I don't have much time, so let's speedrun through this tour here. It's very similar to Civic anyway, so if you've seen that video, you're almost caught up. This is the bridge, of course. She differed a bit from Civic in that her bridge was separate from her main superstructure. It had its own quote-unquote bridge island, a staple for most White Star liners after this point. So yeah, underneath here you have the flying bridge on top, and then of course you have the wheelhouse on the deck below, with the chart room inside here, and a staircase leading down to the officers' quarters. So you have the chief officer here, and then the lesser officers. Do you have the captain? Yeah, here's the captain in this room here. He has a bedroom. Yeah, let's check out the superstructure with the where the crew and the passengers would be housed. So we have the saloon here. I mean, it's very similar to all the livestock carriers I've built so far. There's no reason to believe that they would be super different in terms of their layouts. And on this side there are a lot of staterooms for the passengers. As with all other livestock carriers, Georgic did carry passengers, very rarely though. Most of the time the passengers were people that handled the horses and animals that travel aboard, basically. Here is a pantry with the adjacent galley in here. We have the potato store, very important, as well as the vegetable store inside here. On the other side, we have the Seamen's quarters. They were in here. That was a galley. We have some firemen in this area. We have the lavatory, their wash place, and their bath. Where's their here's the fireman. There we go. Here's their birthing space. Here's an entrance for the firemen down into the boiler room. We have greasers, chief cook and baker, petty officer's lavatory, petty officer's bath, quartermasters, master at arms. Some of these cameras aren't lit up. I need to fix that. Carpenter, lamp trimmer, bosun and joiner, bosun's store, storekeeper. Lots of this stuff. Here's the ice house, by the way, as well, just so you know. I know many people were interested in the ice house, of course. Here is the entrance on the other side for the engineers. This is how they would access the engine room. And then, of course, here is the engineers' quarters. So they have their mess here. Through this wall, they have their lavatory and bath. And then, yeah, the rest here are just the engineers' cabins. This is the second engineer, third engineer, and so on. More engineers. Here's the cattlemen, the people that handle the animals, the livestock. And yeah, that's pretty much this deck. We also have the doctor here and a little lavatory for the passengers. Let's make our way up. And yeah, that's pretty much all the interesting stuff. From now on, it's just cargo spaces, livestock areas, and the engine room, pretty much, and the boiler room. So here in the bow, in this lower section of the superstructure, I guess this is technically still part of the hull though. This is the where we keep many of the cattle. Go through here, this well, you get more cattle. All the way back, pretty much. There's only cattle on this deck, it seems. Here in the stern is this deck house. This is for the cattlemen, even more cattlemen. And then there's this massive well here. Civic had a similar one there. Very open though. And in the stern here, they of course had this steering gear deck house. With the steering gear, as you may imagine based on the name. And here is the hospital for the passengers and crew, mostly crew. Let's go to the bow and then jump down the deck. So let's jump through these open hatches here. Here in the bow was said to be kept sheep and such animals. We have some provisions, tarpaulins, and a store. Random store space. They would squeeze all that in if they could. Here are the... Here's more cows, here's more cattle. Then in the middle of the ship, the horses were kept, horse stalls. And then in the stern again, the cows return. The return... Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, return... No, Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Cows. I'm a Star Wars fan, I should know this stuff. Anyway. Yeah, cows in the stern as well. We have some storage space in the stern. And that's pretty much this deck. Let's head down one more deck here. Well, we just get store space here. Let's turn on some lights. Never really show how these look. You can see. Why is it so grey? There's no color. It's kind of odd. Yeah, this is how the cargo spaces would have looked like. They were packed very, very tightly. Like they would cram the cargo in like this. And they have a lot of holes in the bow. This is some of the grain and yeah, food general for the livestock, basically. Then through this bulkhead we get to the boiler room. Same configuration as the other ships. There were 2 double-ended boilers on the sides, as well as 2 single-ended boilers in the middle, like this. And then flanking them, of course, on either side is the coal bunkers. So yeah, that's that. There's a lot of trimming spaces above as well, to make sure the coal is adequately like balanced in terms of the ship. Here is the engine room. This is where the engines were stored, believe it or not. Lots of equipment, machinery. This is just copied from Civic, pretty much, so not very interesting. Here's the electric engines. There's also some refrigerated engines here. And then finally there are some of these propeller shaft tunnels leading all the way back into the propellers. That was probably the quickest like large ship tour I've done so far, so that's pretty funny. Also, I do apologize, I'm still not quite free from my illness, so I hope you forgive me from having a more ASMR voice than normal. So, thank you guys for watching this video. On to the Delphic. Take care. Bye bye.